It's Do Time with Pastor Steph.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine. You're on with this Due Time with Pastor Steph. How are you this morning? That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. For this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. So, where were you all week? We started off shaking the Monday morning blues with the Due Time crew, and you know it's relationship day. And we talked about the things that he exemplifies that reveals that he will truly not be a good husband. Yep, he is going to be a terrible husband. And one of the things we talked about is he thinks the world revolves around him. Who can deal with the person who thinks the world revolves around them? How does anything get done? Who else gets some attention? And everybody needs attention in every relationship. We talked about he never wants to grow up. How do you deal with that? Oh my goodness gracious. When you raising the kids and you raising him, most times that does not work. Well, one of the other things was talking about his roving eye, or when he wants to flirt with everybody and he doesn't believe that there's anything wrong with that. No, that's not going to work, because it's somehow his flirting somehow puts the onus on you to grow up, to be mature about it, to accept it. And no, you're not going to have these bad behaviors and then someone else has to do the work. It doesn't work like that, people. Doesn't work like that, okay? Well, we had the switch with Shantice, and the tip this week was allow God to wean you off that. Well, we just got finished talking about stuff. The things we talked about, you want to be the center of attention. Maybe that's the way your mom treated you. Maybe that's the way mothers and their sons, everything was focused on you. Nobody mattered. You could never get a good enough woman. And, she always had to make sure you had the extra. And the world revolved around you. And when you got to be older, that's what you thought it was supposed to be like. Well, let God wean you off that thing, because there's no way in the world as an adult you are supposed to continue to believe that the world is supposed to revolve around you. And this is why we need to make sure when we're raising our kids that we do and we not do certain things. Because if you think all this stuff gets left into childhood, you better think again, because it just does not work like that. Well, what else are you doing that belongs in your yesterday? Remember, a few weeks ago we talked about, ladies, please leave that back in 2025. Don't bring that in to 2026. Well, what part of your life needs to be left in 2000? Yeah, back in the 1990s. You too old for that. So let God wean you off that thing. We're going to expedite this thing. We talked to our girlfriend Vivian and her socially conscious segment. And we talked about the Florida hospital that could not get the patient out of there. The patient had been discharged from 2025. But for whatever the reason is, they say maybe mental health, maybe housing, they just decided they were not leaving, and the hospital could not put them out. So now they are getting an injunction to put the person out of the hospital, and they're taking up a bed that's needed by someone else, and just causing all kinds of just a situation that just does not need to exist. If you're well, get up and find your way on the outside. Why would you want to stay extra in somebody's hospital anyhow? That doesn't even make any sense. But again, mental health or housing issue, or you ain't got no TV, whatever it is, they decided to stay, and that's what was going on. Well, yesterday we talked about those dating standards. Are your standards too high? And that's why you don't have nobody. What are your dating standards? If you're dating, what are your standards, and what do you feel is not good enough, or whatever the situation is? Let's make sure we consult God for whatever it is. Whatever it is, we consult God, because it really may be a point where God doesn't even want us to date. He might need to work on us for some things. He needs to kind of wean us off of some things. And maybe there's some level of dependency that you got going on that we don't know. We don't know what God is doing. So listen, I say consult God. My question is, what does God say? What did God say about your situation? And then you now set your standards for dating. Because check this out. We talked yesterday about what someone's standards were, but we also talked about your friends and family. And Shantice brought up a really good point, as well as Lady Tamika. Lady Tamika was like, hey, if the people are telling you around you, then you just might want to check them standards out. And then on the flip side of that, Shantice said, well, I need to check your standards, because maybe your standards are not my standards. And that's why we need to consult God, to make sure that whatever we're doing is an alignment for our life, not for the world, not the way the world does it, but for the way God wants it done for our life. So that's how we spent the week. Yeah, and a whole lot more went on. Well, you can always go back and catch up. You can look at Facebook, Coach for Christian Life. You can check out YouTube, A Closer Walk Christian Media Network. If you can watch, but you can listen, check us out. We're podcasting. Yes, we're podcasting every day on Spreaker.com, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible.com, Amazon.com, Apple iTunes and Apple Podcasts. Wherever you find streaming, we're probably sitting right there. So there's no reason why you can't catch up, because you missed a lot this week if you were not on with us, okay? All right. Well, today is Freestyle Friday, y'all, and we get to do whatever it is we want to do. Well, what do? We always talk to the men. Last week, we were just rolling solo with Pastor Jeff. Let's see who shows up today. Well, we know that Brother Ainsley had death in his family, so we're praying him up, lifting up the family in prayer, and trusting that everything will go the way it's supposed to go, as they're making preparations, and the funeral service will go the way it goes. Let's show him some love. Go ahead on Facebook to Ainsley Harris and send him a shout. Let him know that, hey, we miss you and we're praying for you, okay? All right. Well, go ahead and get that healthy breakfast. Go ahead and tell somebody, anybody, everybody that It's Due Time with Pastor Steph is on. And whatever you do, don't go anywhere, because we will be right back.
Literally, they're saying black men are dying not because of nothing crazy, it's because we didn't take care of our guts. Yeah. We were eating the wrong things. We weren't cleaning out our stuff. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. I text you, said, bro, I need your cleanse. And bro, I did that thing and I dropped. Now, respectfully, I hate you. Your cleans, it is nasty, but it works.
Tastes like results.
Bro, there you go. But that first 2-3 days, oh, it was rough.
Your health and your death begins in your gut. Because if you start to think about some of the top killers of people, leading causes of death, cardiovascular disease, gut. When you think about diabetes, gut. When you think about, in our community, colorectal cancer, which we get it at 40% higher risk, and we're 3 times more likely to die from it.
Yeah.
So when you start to think about it, especially for our community, it's the gut.
good morning, and good morning again. Welcome back to It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. And it is Freestyle Friday, y'all. Woo. By the grace of God, we made it. Thank you, God, for allowing us to come through this week safely against all hurt, harm, and danger we were facing. We don't even have any idea, but God brought us through. I love that PSA. Everything starts in the gut. Yeah, it's what we eat. And this is why our health tips on Monday and Thursday are so vital. So vital. Because if we don't eat right, things ain't gonna go right. All right. So let's make sure we do what we need to do. All right. Well, if you're in the room, make sure you check in, because Pastor Steph doesn't know you're there unless you say a good morning or send me out a hi or a shout out, something. So I want to shout you back. Hey, Katie, thank you so much for joining us. And we have our boy Serge in the house. Thank you, Serge. What's going on? Thank you so much. We got our girl Brenda checking in. You might have the day off. Do you have the day off? I hope so. I hope you're enjoying your day off. And we have a check-in from Miss Grace, I'm hoping. If you're out there, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you're doing well this morning. We must say good morning to the ladies that hold it down each and every day. And we could not do it without them. Let's say good morning to our girl Shantice. Good morning. And our girl Anika. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, I got to tell y'all, I completely forgot it was Celebrity Day. And I'm doing my thing, and I got some news, but it ain't got nothing to do with the celebrities. So at the last minute, I was able to pull up a piece of trivia that I had in my arsenal for future usage, and thank God I did, because I can at least give us a little bit of trivia for the entertainers. And I want y'all to play along with me. We are talking about some songs you didn't know, you may not have known, that Teddy Riley produced. Now, just a few weeks ago, we talked about Teddy Riley stepping out and saying that, hey, he wanted to actually work with R. Kelly again. I don't think they really did anything together, but they had been doing a little dabbling together in the music thing. And he said, while he was in jail, R. Kelly, he wants to work with him again. He wants to bring back R&B. He's the king of R&B. I don't know who gave him that crown, but that's what he said. And he ended up backpedaling. Yeah, when the people were like, how could you, support him and blah, 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 blah. And he was like, well, I'm not going to support him. I'm not going to do any music with him. He's a punk. But in any way, he is a musician and he does his thing. So if you know one of the songs that he produced that wasn't very popular, it might be on this list. Now, when I say wasn't very popular, I don't mean that the song itself wasn't very popular, but that Teddy Riley himself produced it. Now, I looked at the first one and I was like, wow. But when I think about, who he was, and he had that New Jack Swing thing going on, then I was like, okay, it does have his, it does have his, touch on it. It's almost like R. Kelly. Anything R. Kelly has touched. The only thing I didn't know R. Kelly had done was Life. Yeah, the theme song to the movie Life did not sound anything like R. Kelly. So there might be some things on here that may not sound like Teddy Riley. All right, let's see what's going on. All right. They say that Teddy Riley has had his hands in Is It Good to You? Heavy D and the Boys. Is it good to you? I was like, what? Yeah. So y'all let me know if y'all knew whether he had his handprint all over these songs. Because I'm telling you, if I didn't know that one, I'm sure there are a few that I did not know. So yeah, Heavy D and the boys had a song that, and Is It Good to You was pretty popular. Yeah. Oh, wait. SWV, right here. Be right here. Yes, I didn't know that. Did you know that? Yo. Boys to Men, Believe. Now, I don't even know what that song is. I never even heard of Believe. Okay, unlike the first two. Joe, Stutter. Now, I gotta tell you, I don't know. This is not that familiar to me. I know a little bit about Stutter, but it didn't hit my Richter scale much. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. What about Robin Thicke's It's in the Morning? Now I gotta tell you, I'm not a Robin Thicke person. So I think I only maybe know one or two of his songs. Other than that, I do not know any Robin Thicke songs, and this is one of them. Kelly Price, Love Sets You Free. I don't know that one, y'all. Y'all know that one? I don't know. This chat room is kind of quiet. I don't know if anybody knows anything. All right. So Kelly Price, Love Sets You Free. I don't know. Plus, let me tell y'all something. After, what's that? R&B Divas? If I Never Saw Kelly Price, or what's that other chick's name from Brownstone? She has a popular name. I can't think of the lead singer from Brownstone. You know, sometimes these people really need to stay off social media, because after watching those two on social media, yo, Shantice must be sending me the name. Yes, Nikki, thank you. Nikki from Brownstone. I was done with the two of them after R&B Divas. So if Kelly Price made anything else, I don't care. Mary J. Blige, My Love, My Love, My Love. Yeah, that's my life. My Love by Mary J. Blige. I don't know this. Do I know this one? And you know, because we're on YouTube, we can't play the songs, because then we'll keep getting flagged for copyrights. But I would really love to play. I would have really loved to just like kind of run these songs. That's what I used to do on Blog Talk. I just kind of run the songs. But I don't know. Y'all know My Love? I don't know My Love. I don't know that one. Lady Gaga's Teeth. Yeah, some of these needed to stay. Some of these needed to stay like unknown. Maybe they popular in their world. You know, I don't only listen to gospel, by the way, but I don't know. Yeah, Shantice, this is saying My Love. Mary J. Blige, My Love. So if you don't know it and I don't know it, then maybe it needs to be kept in the closet. Okay. Well, you look up the credits and tell me if the credits read My Life or My Love for Teddy Riley, because that's sure what they saying. That maybe that's why that's the first thing that came to. Oh, she says it's wrong. So just look for me, all righty, and let me know. Is it there a song by Mary J called My Love? Maybe there is, and you just don't know nothing about it. All righty, let's see. You got another couple songs. Oh, now this is one of my favorite from the 90s. I love the way you kiss me when we're playing the kissing game. Whoa, I did not know that was a Teddy Riley baby. No, I didn't know that. Wow, and that's by High Five. All right, wow. And I Get the Job Done by Big Daddy Kane. All righty. Well, like I said, let's see Shantice is saying. Song called My Life from her My Life album, My Love Song in 1993 with Teddy. See, I told you there may have been a My Love song. Yeah, nobody knows that song. Oh, no. Okay, well, that's another song that Teddy Riley produced, and nobody knows about it. Okay. Well, did you know those songs? Well, they said you didn't know Teddy Riley produced it. Well, you may not even know the song. All righty. Well, that's all the celebrity stuff I got for today. And I'm sorry, y'all, because I get a kick out of Celebrity Friday. And I don't know how I forgot that it was Celebrity Friday. I don't know how I forgot that. Wait, did I? Our brother Ainsley's on. Oh, amen. All right. Well, let's get to this news that I do have. All right. Well, what are we talking about this morning? I got some weird stories today. I got some really weird stories today. Kenny says, yes, high five. I love that song. Yes. All righty. There's a story about a Michigan man who kills an entire family. Well, he attempted to kill the entire family. So sheriffs out in Michigan say that 21-year-old Alexander Lamar Banks Jr. claims something. I'm not going to tell you that part yet. But he claims that something happened and he ended up getting in his car, driving around until he saw this family of 3. Now that was 37-year-old husband, 33-year-old wife, and they were out walking their 3-year-old daughter, Harlow. And they say that a home security camera caught him plowing his gray sedan into the family, leaping out of the car and blasting away with a 12-gauge shotgun, striking all 3 members of the family. Did I say there was a 3-year-old little girl in the family that he's literally shooting at with a 12-gauge shotgun? Yo, well, there's a neighbor who ran up to them, an older lady. She runs up to them, 72 years old, and she tries to save them, and she somehow distracts him. Well, I guess he ain't planning on somebody else showing up. And he knocks her down, and he runs off. Well, needless to say, they did catch him. Well, unfortunately, the baby was pronounced dead at the scene from the gunshot wounds. And Paige and Cameron Smith, they were later listed as stable in the hospital only because of the heroic efforts of the 72-year-old neighbor. Now, she was in the hospital because she had had brain surgery. So when he pushed her, she hit her head. Now he claims, check this out. He claims that somebody threatened his life and told him he had to kill someone to save his own family. Now they cannot prove this story. They have not proven the story. So now you've got a family messed up. Their 3-year-old daughter is gone. And I don't know what kind of time he's facing. But I don't think there's a jail big enough for him. So he goes back to court and had the nerve to plead on back in February, not guilty, and his lawyer said he's mentally incompetent. Well, only time will tell if he is truly mentally incompetent. But unfortunately, that's what happened with the baby and the family. Oh, all right. I got another story that's a little lengthy, but I want to give a shorter story first because the other story is sick. All right. Talk about sick, y'all. Talk about mentally incompetent. There's this 5th grade teacher. Oh gosh, well, where do these people come from? So there's this 5th grade teacher out in Las Vegas who they have now arrested after being accused of inappropriate behavior by multiple students, and come to find out not only by the students, by the staff as well. Well, this Ngayan, I don't know how you pronounce that name. I say that name quite often, but his name is Kanam. Okay, 51-year-old teacher. He's been employed since I believe 2000 with the school system. And quite so many years, y'all, he's been over there cutting up. Now, one instance, they say, he's been playing some teddy bear game, and he walks around hugging a student, predominantly female, who stood in as a teddy bear while he would pretend to be distraught or cry. And the student was supposed to be the one to provide some form of comfort. He also played a game called knife tag. Are y'all ready for this? Knife tag. Now, I don't know how long. See, this ain't no school on this side of the fence. Because, baby, by the time one kid went home and told his story, they would have turned up that whole district. Forget about the school, forget about the classroom, the whole district. He used to play a game called the knife tag. Now, it means that he turns off the lights in his classroom and walks around while holding a cake knife. And that's a large serrated bread knife, was found in a cabinet in his classroom. What kid is gonna go home and tell their parent they were playing knife tag and they not swarming the school? That's how you know this ain't no black people, because this would not have gone down like that. Not only that, he's got multiple students who told similar stories about this teacher, saying that it made them feel uncomfortable and scared. And one student even said that the teddy bear game left them feeling weird in a bad way. Who is just telling this story? That they have not gotten rid of him a long time ago. This has been going on for years, they said. Now, they say the students accused him also of inappropriate touching, making uncomfortable comments such as shipping students as couples and referring to them and the little girls as gold diggers. Oh Lord, where do they come from? He also has been accused of referring to certain students as special ed when they incorrectly answered questions. Now, he is also accused of violent tendencies, including harsh language and flipping desks. Couldn't have been one black child in the class. Couldn't have been one black child. It just couldn't have been one. Not even a one. You let a black child go home and tell a parent that the teacher was in there flipping tables, calling children special ed, all these kind of things. Now, when he spoke to the cops, and he reportedly said that, I was doing some of these things for years. God! But he felt that this was building a rapport with the children. And that the other side was he was just entertaining them. Now, he denied calling anybody special ed, but he did not deny the other allegations. And the principal said that he had complaints from the staff that he was acting inappropriately by making certain comments to them, making unwanted advances, and giving them unwanted gifts. Why was he still in the school? Because you're not going to tell me none of these teachers heard what was going on. So here's the thing. Nobody was walking the halls when you turned out the lights to play the knife tag? Never? Now, you've been doing these things for years, and you ain't never been seen. You ain't never been heard saying anything. You should see Brother Ainsley in the background. He about to do some damage, y'all. Yo, this is insane. Like I said, couldn't have been in the Bronx. Couldn't have been in Queens. Couldn't have been in Brooklyn. And it better not be up in Harlem, baby. Because it would be on and popping. Now, I don't know about the Staten Islanders. I don't know how they roll. But I know the mother four ain't happening. So, can y'all imagine that this is what's going on in the classroom? Yo, I can't take it, y'all. I can't take it. I can't take it. I can't take it. Oh my goodness gracious. What else we got to talk about? Well, I do want to give you an update about those people who were stranded in Dubai. Well, unfortunately, it ain't over. I was hoping that at least by now, there would be some people who would be able, or at least everybody would have gotten home, not one or two. And they are still stranded out there. Some people have managed to get home, but for the majority, they have not been able to go home. You have one individual who's been stranded since March 1st. Well, since February, because remember the thing happened in February. So when they shut it down, this Vasquez person was over there. She was staying in a Taj Dubai hotel, which is a 5-star hotel. She was spending $500 a day, and roughly $300 of that went to the hotel bill, and she spent $6,800. Now, she was one who was able to get out. Now, she says she ran up a whole lot of credit card bills, and she says, I don't know what I'm going to do because I got a hefty bill. Okay. There's a couple who got stranded out there, and they too are running on credit cards. They say that now, here's what they claim, that certain airlines from there, and it's only a few, but certain airlines from out there said that they would pay for these people's hotel fees, because remember now, it's their fault that the people can't go. So I guess maybe they're going to get the money from someplace else. So they claim that they were going to be paying some of these fees. And what they've done is they've given like some kind of vouchers and all kinds of things. Well, part of this team, this couple, said that her dad, she went there for, she was going to Malaysia. And somehow or another, they had to stop in Dubai. And that's where she got stuck. She was not able to get a connecting flight after that. They canceled her flight to London, where they were also going. And It has not gone well for them. They've been running on these vouchers. They said that they have been using a room that is $112 a night, which includes breakfast, and they've been trying to keep their eating to about $30 a day. But even that has taken their fees up. I mean, it's only a certain amount of time before you're going to be able to do this. Now, and if this lasts for another week, they'll be stuck there for like a month. So these people are still stranded. You have a father and daughter who arrived in Dubai on February 24th for her 30th birthday. Another one for the 30th birthday. The other young lady that I spoke to, she was there for her 30th birthday, but she was there by herself. And she said their original flight home on March 1st was canceled, and every booking after that, they had to get a GoFundMe, and that's raised $99.78 of the $11,000 that they say they're going to need. Now, here's the other thing that is crazy. There have been people who have gotten out of Dubai, but they have rented private jets for $200,000. Who got that kind of money? Not me. And probably if you're watching this Due Time with Pastor Steph, probably not you either. Yeah. So they're saying that's the only thing that's more expensive than staying there is leaving there for $100,000. $200,000. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, I see I got a comment. Let's see what's going on. All righty. Tamika says, I told you yesterday about the teacher that was locked in the closet for 3 days. Something to think about. Right. Remember we were talking about the school? We got a check-in from Miss Herlima. So good morning, Miss Herlima. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's get my boy Ainsley on here.
Hey, good morning, Pastor Steph. Good morning this early Friday
morning. Yes, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Just said, we were sending. I'm okay, thanks. Just said we didn't expect you on. We're setting up prayers for you and the family.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. So it's a great surprise to actually see you. So thank you for taking time out to be with us this morning, especially so early.
Yeah.
I saw you back there throwing shots and all kinds of things.
I was like, oh my God, where you at?
Oh my goodness. I'm telling you. Well, let's go back a little bit since you're a musician and it's only you and I so far. So I did this. There was a trivia that I found, and it was about. Oh, you heard me with Teddy Riley.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so how many of those songs did you know? So you have Is It Good to You by Heavy D and the Boys. Did you know Teddy Riley produced that one?
I'm not surprised with that one. That kind of sound like him a little bit.
Right. That's what I said. I was surprised, but when I kind of went with the vibe of it, I was like, oh, okay, no, that could be Teddy. That could be Teddy. Yeah. What about SWV's Right Here?
No, I didn't know that one.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Isn't that the one that's a cover of Michael Jackson's Human Nature?
It may be.
Yeah, it is. That's the one. That's the cover from the Michael Jackson song. And I didn't know that he had anything to do with the Michael Jackson song, but because later we know that he produced Remember the Time.
Yeah.
So I did not know that, he was dabbling with SWV. Shanti says yes. She says yes, Right Here is the cover of Human Nature. All right. What about Boyz II Men's Believe?
No, I
didn't know that one. Okay.
Totally
what about Joe? What'd you say?
I was totally unfamiliar with that one.
Okay, me too. I don't know nothing about that one. What about Joe's Stutter?
No, I can't remember that one. How'd that one go? Stutter.
Oh, okay.
No.
That one I'm vaguely familiar with. What about Robin Thicke's It's in the Morning?
Unlike you, Robin Thicke, I just know a couple of his songs I'm familiar with. You know, the one with the guitar, you know, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you hanging out with me because I ain't know that either.
Yeah, we together on that.
Kelly Price's Love Sets You Free.
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Mary J. Blige.
He was talking about Kelly Price and whatnot, how bad they were on the show.
I
didn't watch it, but you know, my understanding was that she said she stopped it because she didn't like how they was, you know, they tried to, you know, it's supposed to be reality, but it's really to look a certain kind of way.
Right.
She didn't like how they was, you know, going about it, and so she said, nah, she got out of it because of that. So it was that bad.
It's for me, I would never. Her attitude was so nasty. Now she claims that, you know, they had their own thing going on in the back, you know, in the back of the room. But my thing is, what does that have to do with you? And I would sooner not be on the screen than to portray the attitude that she had. For me, her and that Nikki from Brownstone, oh no, y'all good. I ain't gotta worry about none of y'all.
Wow, was that bad? Okay. I didn't watch it, you know. But,
you know, I have millennial girls, and you know, during that time, that was the thing. You know, so I sit down and watch it with them, but it just really turned me off from, you know, ever really, you know, being with them. They had Shantae Moore. What's that other one? She didn't do
what was the show called? Did it go by the Housewives or something?
No. This one was R&B Divas.
Oh, R&B Divas. Okay.
Yeah, they had, what's her name? Johnson, Selena Johnson.
Okay.
Nikki, I can't think of her name. Nikki, from Brownstone, Kelly Price, Shantae Moore, and a couple of other. Faith Evans at one point. I think there were 2 seasons of it, and I don't think they were both on. Oh, Michelle. Thank you, Shantice. I don't think they were on the same season. I think it was 2 different seasons, and it never went past 2 seasons.
Well, you know, that, you know, it ain't gonna be no real show unless there's some kind of conflict. You know, you want to see, I guess, some black women attitude, some neck shaking going on.
Yeah.
Some bad blood, you know, maybe a little fisticuffs kind of thing going on.
Well, thank God it wasn't anything physical. Oh, Shantice reminded me, Lil Mo was on it. So they, you know, they had some interesting characters.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. But,
yeah, those 2 were just over the top for me. Their attitudes were over the top. We got from Anika, prayers to you and your family, Brother Ames.
Thank you.
And we've got a check-in from Miss Grace. Hey, Miss Grace, thank you for checking in.
Hey,
all right, we got a couple of other songs. We've got Lady Gaga's Teeth. Did you know Teddy did that one?
Mm-mm.
Okay. And I like
that. I know.
You did?
Yeah, that one
I didn't know that one. I love that one. That is one of my
about it. I think he did a verses with
Yes.
Yeah.
Babyface. It was him and Babyface.
Yeah. And Mama, he brought that one up then. I was like, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that one. And Big Daddy Kane's I Get the Job Done. You knew that one?
Yeah. That sounds like Teddy Riley. You know that kind of.
Yeah. It does. When you think about Big Daddy Kane dancing, that definitely reminds you. Oh, Shanti said also, I forgot about her. Claudette from City High was on there. I loved her. Yeah, that really introduced me to who she was also. But very nice young lady, at least what she portrayed in the show. All right, Brother Ainsley, let's talk about this teacher.
Wow.
Because we got Pastor KL. Pastor KL on with us. Oh, this 5th grade teacher arrested for all of this nonsense he had going on in the classroom. He talked about.
I've been like, where my Glock?
Yeah, you need one, because this here, He was straight out of control. He had the teddy bear game. He had the knife tag game. He had the where he was shipping students as couples and referring to the girls as gold diggers. He was even accused of calling some of the kids special ed when they didn't get the answers right. Also, they said that he had violent tendencies, including harsh language and flipping desks. And I said throughout the whole story, Brother Ainsley, this could have never been in the hood. Do you agree or do you disagree?
I agree. But, soon you mentioned, with the whole teddy bear, grabbing up young girls, I mean, definitely ain't going to happen on this side of the fence.
Okay.
Now, I would say on any side of the fence, I'm sorry. I'm like, where the real men? Where the real father at? Come on now. What? I'll be like, that's just to handle that. That would have been his first and last day. His last day right there. That would have been handled right there. Would have been no more. That's it. That would have been handled right then and there. What? And you going around fill up girls talking about, it's a teddy bear game? Well, I got a teddy bear for you. I'm going to put some tables and there's going to be some flipping and stuff. I'm going to oh my God, we handle that, man. There ain't going to be no need. There's going to be need for court for me. But him, nah, he gonna be handled. You ain't got to worry about him teaching no more. I did the whole school district, the whole board, all the students. They ain't got to worry about him. The other teachers, they ain't got to worry about him harassing them. It'll be handled. It's okay.
Woo!
You look out for you like that. You know what I'm saying? We don't handle. We don't go for that.
Absolutely. But I didn't know this side of you, Brother Ainsley. You have introduced me to an entirely different side.
To me, when you harm children, that's a level of decrepitness that come on, children. That's like a no. I mean, you gotta set a standard. I mean, it's all kind of wrongdoing when you violate a child, man. I think you need accountability. You need accountability, period. I don't care. You need accountability.
All righty. Let's see what your brother KL has to say.
I know he feels the same way.
Hey, Pastor KL.
What to do, crew?
Good morning. How you doing over there?
I just want to give a PSA that Deacon Harris is a thug in real life. He just play a preacher on TV.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Hey, you know how your boy said last month? Brother Ainsley went through a few things.
Oh yeah, Paul. Oh my goodness. Pastor KL, you've heard all of this behavior by this his name. Let me give you his name. His name is Kanam Ngayan. And he has been teaching for years the 5th grade at this school. Even at his own admittance, he's been doing this stuff for years because he said he felt it was building a rapport, as well as, what was the other thing he said? He said it was building a rapport and something else. I'll find it by the time Brother Al gets on here. But I said, this ain't no way in the world you got a black kid sitting up in this classroom and all of this stuff going on, and they don't go home and tell a parent. Because I can't understand any of these kids going home and telling a parent, and then nobody shows up, and this goes on for years. What's your thought?
My thought is that his new anthem would be "When I See Jesus." Amen.
Ooh, goodness gracious.
My rod and my staff would have comforted him. I'd have been in the book now. Silver and gold have I none, but such as I have, I give unto thee. rise up and walk. I mean, I'd have stayed biblical. You know, I would have had biblical substances to go through what we was going to go through. You know, we would have had to lay hands. You know what I mean? You would have been laying prostrate. How many more biblical scenes we need on this one? This would have been Passion of Christ 2. You know what I mean? So,
I'm so mad. I'm so mad. Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. You pray for them. I got you. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a few. You would have had to ask somebody, who told you were naked? Because he would have been strict. Listen, I got biblical content. You cannot tell me I'm not in the book. I got to listen. There is a scripture for everything you're going through.
Sure. But I ain't think you're going to be applying all of them here. Oh my goodness. Let's talk to our brother Al, who we haven't seen in a minute. Good morning, brother Al.
Abraham was the father of Isaac. Isaac was the father of Israel. Had 12 sons for real, and these were the children of Israel. Good morning, everybody.
Good
morning, bro.
I do not want you to be fighting with me. No.
Hey, brother Al, welcome back.
Yes, indeed. I miss you guys, man. Good to see you.
Miss you too.
Man, I see why I've been gone. Ainsley then turned into a thug. He got on his red, he got on his fighting hat. Okay, all right. got his thug chain on. Pastor Steph, what have you done to him?
I don't know. I just said, you showing me a new side of you, Ainsley. Wow. So,
Ainsley, I know it was the blood.
So, brother Al, this teacher claims he was doing all of this for years. He admits he was doing all of this for years. He said he was just being funny. He was trying to gain the class's attention, and he felt it was building a rapport. What does that sound like to you?
Man, that's just crazy. I'm surprised. You sure he's not one of the thieves that was hanging next to Jesus? I'm keeping it biblical, like Pastor Cal. He wasn't one of the ones on the cross next to him.
I do not know.
Remember me in paradise.
Yeah, he should have been nailed. He should have been hands out and nailed to the cross, man. Like, you just abusing kids. And then got the gall to sit there. Yeah, I did it. I've been doing it for years.
Yep.
You know, really?
He said he's been
get me off of him.
Yeah. I think you and everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in the district since 2007.
Wow.
That's almost 20 years of this behavior. Brother Al.
And that's so strange.
What?
It's so strange because it's like 20 years and nobody saw nothing. No kids. He got the kids so scared when they be like, I ain't gonna go home and say nothing. Had the kid not have no marks on them, or acting strange, because you have kids, there's something going on with them, they act a different way. So the parents not paying attention, it's just like 1,000 questions,
They said that there was one child who said that the teddy bear game left them feeling weird in a bad way. This is why I say, and you didn't go home and say nothing? Nobody went home and said anything? That is just so weird to me.
Yeah.
This is just so weird to me.
Let me tell you, even with me working at the school, like I said, I've been doing it for so long. We have so much stuff implemented into the school because you have some parents do some weird stuff. Like when kids come in the morning, we say good morning. We take a once look over because we have had incidents where a child got beat at home and had a mark on them. And when they came to school, somebody didn't see it. And they said it happened in school. Oh, they fell outside, this and that. But no, it didn't. It happened at home. So they try to hold the school accountable. So when the kids come in, we take a quick look over. Okay, he ain't got no black eye. He good. You go in. Nobody looked at these kids, man. Oh, man. Like I said, it's a million questions.
Yeah.
Man, you think
But
19 years, how many kids that he has affected?
yes,
That's why you
this
gotta
is
deal
what.
with this prompto. I mean,
School
Christ
need to
didn't
be
make
held
no.
accountable too.
Well, that's the thing. When they questioned the principal, that's when the principal said, "Check this out," that the staff had been complaining about him. They've been complaining about him and saying that he was making unwanted advances. He was giving them unwanted gifts. So that ain't never prompt you to just look into him at all.
Right.
Hey, brother Al. So what Pastor Steph said. So if someone is complaining, don't you have to do an investigation? Because I know if somebody comes here and says that they feel harassed, I have to do an investigation, whether I believe it or not.
Yeah, especially in the school. Yes. So that's what I'm saying. That principal going down too. The principal, the assistant principal, they going down. But once a complaint come in, especially in the school, they have to check it out.
Okay.
Tamika says, "See, these men don't play when it comes to their children. Where are the parents that ask, how was your school today? How was school today?" Right. I mean, I have adult children, and I ask, how was your day? It's just something that you ask, and sometimes you get an answer. Sometimes you get an answer. It didn't go that well. You know what I'm saying? So but they didn't come in saying that. Follow what I'm saying? So in other words, if you ask, they're going to spill it all, but they don't come in and say, guess what happened today? So that what it indicates is all you need to do is ask.
Yeah.
All you have to do is ask.
That's what I do every morning. I ask every day what's going on and what.
Right.
But I make sure I went to school. I make sure the teachers knew me. I make sure they knew me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I always say, you got a problem, you need to talk to me. Here's my number, blah 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 blah.
Even the kids that are not my kids, kids come to school sometimes with their face frown and stuff, and I pull up to the side and say, "Hey, are you okay today? Is everything okay?" And those are things that we need to do. I had a kid come in yesterday. She came in. She always happy to come in, and she was a little rude to people and said, "Oh, not this morning, this and that." So I pulled to the side and said, "Hey, are you okay? You all right?" And she was upset because her father went into the hospital. So, we sat and we talked about it. She cried, and I said, "Listen, everything gonna be all right." I said, "I'm gonna pray for your dad." And she was like, "I pray every day." I said, "There you go." I said, "You on the right track there." I said, "We praying together. You on the right track." But you had some staff got mad at her, like, "Wow, she come in here with an attitude. Ain't nobody doing that to her this morning." I'm like, no, let me talk to her. And because you have to ask those questions.
That's good. That's good.
Right. It takes a level of understanding to even move in that vein, to even say, well, you know what, instead of just complaining, ask. Again, you're dealing with the kids, I'm dealing with the adults, and if I see your face looking twisted, what's going on with you? How's everything going? Or did anything happen? There's no harm in asking, because again, sometimes all someone needs is just for you to ask, and it comes out. Comes out. So thank God they have you in the school, Brother Al.
Sometimes the rules that they have, and I understand it, and I understand it's for safety of kids. It was like one day I had got a report that I might get written up, and I said, "But do what you got to do," because there was a young lady that came into the school, and she was dealing a lot with her mother, and her mother was into some crazy stuff, and she came to school that day, and she was just so upset. And I was talking to her, and come to find out, like I said, her mother was in some crazy stuff, and some guys rolled up and shot her mother in the face.
Wow.
And she broke down and cried, and I grabbed and hugged her. Now, they said in the school, "Oh, don't touch the kids, this and that." Then you know what? Write me up, because this young lady need some affection right now. So I grabbed her and I hugged her, and that girl cried her eyes out. And instead of somebody come up there, "Oh, well, Mr. B, you're not supposed to touch the kids." Okay, I said, "Cool. So write me up. I'll take that. No problem. Write me up. Get out my face too. And I'm gonna call the union. Leave me alone. I'm going to comfort this little girl." So These kids go through some things, man. But this situation here, man, like nobody said nothing. I mean,
yeah, that is unbelievable to me.
Unbelievable, yes.
Yeah, I kept saying it couldn't be no Bronx kid, no Brooklyn kid, no Queens kid, no Harlem kid. It couldn't have been one of them because they were you wouldn't have had them say, "Mom, we played the teddy bear game today." With who?
What?
Exactly.
Or
teddy
they
bear?
yeah. Or guess what, Mom? We played the knife tag game today, and the teacher turned off the knife. And they later found a serrated bread knife in his closet.
Wow.
Once you said you turned out the light, that would have been it. That would have been it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. What's going on up in here that you
ain't had to go no further. All I heard was lights off, no further.
Right. I'm like, so no teacher walked past this classroom, and it's the one dark classroom, and you know I'm like, I gotta. You got a long hallway, all the lights on except for this one.
Exactly. And them lights are
What
bright.
is that?
Them lights are bright.
Yes.
So.
I'm like, what? I don't get it. I'm like, and nobody said a word. Nobody said, no, I don't believe nobody said anything. You're not going to tell me one kid did not make that complaint and one parent didn't complain. I'm not believing it. I believe it's what you said, Brother Al, them people going down, because it's going to come out that there were complaints that were made from them kids or some parents. I'm not believing in all of this 20 years.
Yeah, that's crazy. And like you said, it'd have been here. First of all, the kids from Brooklyn would have jumped them. That's number one. They would have jumped.
Yeah. No, here's what would have happened. When the lights went out, it would have been a whole bunch of screaming.
Yeah.
It would have been, hey. Yeah, it would have been a whole bunch of screaming. So if whoever didn't know the lights were out, then they would have heard that the lights were out, because they would have heard a whole bunch of screaming. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But here's a very interesting case. You may have heard about it. You may have not heard about it. I've been holding on to this one for about a week. And I was like, interesting. So you've got this pastor, this black pastor in Montgomery, Alabama, who was arrested while watering his neighbor's flowers. And somehow they went to dig in as to how you ended up being arrested for watering your neighbor's flowers. So here's the story. The story is he was watering his neighbor's flowers, and another neighbor, I ain't got to tell you who this was, Karen, they saw him over there with a young black teen or young adult, and they called the cops. When the cops showed up, they asked him who he was. And because they had also gotten that they saw an unfamiliar car hanging around the house. So the officers walked up to him, watering the flowers, and they asked him who he was. Identify yourself. He says, I'm Pastor Jennings. He told them that he lived across the street and he was caring for his neighbor's yard while they were vacationing. They subsequently asked him for ID. He refused, saying he hadn't done anything wrong and he wasn't giving it to them. The woman who had called 911 did identify him as another neighbor. Well, they arrested him, saying that he was obstructing a government operation, and that was later dismissed. Well, he sued, and they took it to the first level, and he sued the city and the officers for false arrest. So the first level, it was dismissed because they said that he needed to hand over his identification. And they have every right, as an officer, they have every right to ask for identification if the answer that the person gives them is incomplete, or there's an unsatisfactory response to the questions. So he took it to a higher level. They overturned the decision, but they threw it back in the lap of the first set of people because they said that they needed to clarify the state's stance and rule on that particular situation. Well, they came right back and said the same thing, and the judge there said, yes, you must produce an identification if, again, the person gives an incomplete answer, or if that answer is unsatisfactory, an unsatisfactory response to the question. So now he's kind of done. But, people are hoping, and they're hoping that he pushes it to the ultimate Supreme Court, because this makes no sense. They said this goes against the Fourth Amendment, and now the Alabamians have to give up that ID regardless. Brother Al, I'm going to start with you. What say you?
So, you said this happened in Alabama. You sure that ain't Pastor KL? Yo, you ain't tell us about this. You ain't tell us about this, KL. What's going on with you, brother?
I was happier when you were gone.
Oh my gosh.
But no, they are making that a thing of showing your ID. Even when I speak to the kids, I say if they ask you for ID, just give it to them, because you don't want to have your life taken over an ID thing. Give them your ID, then go from there. I think that's what he should have did. Hey, here go my ID, then go from there. So I honestly don't think he's going to win that case. He might get put in for harassment, because being that the person that called said he, identified that he was a neighbor. So I think he can go for harassment. The ID thing, I don't think he's going to win. And hey, like I said, that's what happened when you had those Karen. I mean, Pastor Carol said all the time on how in Alabama it's super prejudice. So you know where you at, you know what's going on there, and you got to act accordingly just for the safety of your life.
Okay. Pastor KL, you an Alabamian. What's going on?
He can forgive. I mean, you got a couple of things against you. You're black. You live in the state's capital, and this is a Trump state. So you lost. All three. You got 3 strikes against you. It is not going to work. You know what I mean? And the crazy part about it is that the neighbor who called know you a neighbor.
Right.
Know you a neighbor. Know you live on the block. You know what I mean? And you still got arrested. First of all, what you call for? I'm watering the lawn. So what am I doing? Am I breaking in with a hose? I'm just not understanding what's going on. So yeah, he's not going to win. He's the wrong color. He live in the wrong state, and he live in Montgomery.
All righty. Brother Ainsley.
Yeah, I had read about a good portion of this incident, but I didn't know it was in Alabama. So you mentioned Alabama, I thought, okay, there go my brother KL. But I had read that it had went to the Supreme Court of the state, and pretty much they said that, pretty much you got to give your ID,
Right.
If it's unsatisfactory to the officer. So the bottom line, officer, they're going to be like, give me your ID. You're going to have to show it to them, because, you can practically give all the satisfactory answer, but they're gonna want your ID. They want to run your name, put your name through the system, some kind of way, just so they can document where you are at this time. Regardless, that's what it basically would have come down to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to be honest, I got to look on the other side that, suppose there was some wrongdoing going on. You want that person ID in reality. Suppose somebody just acting like they was just flowering, seeing the cops come in and say, let's act innocent and let's act, rewatering the lawn and stuff like that. And so in certain situations, you will want the officer to ID who this person is, but the bottom line, but you're right, brother KL, it's like, if you're the neighbor, you gotta recognize the person.
Right.
He's not moving in a suspicious manner. What's so suspicious about getting a hose put out and watering, put some water out and stuff like that? What is so suspicious about that, man? You're right, where you're at, you just might have to give up that ID. And that's and unfortunately that's where it is. You don't have to be doing anything wrong for situations to come to you, and it's unfortunate. I think to myself, well, then you need to have your ID or your passport. Who walks around with their passport?
Right.
It's ridiculous. But
Brother Ainsley just in support of the ID because he got family in law enforcement, so he don't want to look bad. You know what I mean? So he's just talking, sticking up for his family members. So he can get out that good ticket.
Yeah, no, I don't like it either because what's happened to me? I got pulled over. It just really, you just want to see who I am. I got pulled over. It was like not because I was speeding or ran through a red light and stuff like that. Oh, it was because my license plate light went out. I was like, what? My license plate light is out? A bulb on a license plate? That's what
I got that too. That's stupid. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I couldn't see it just from a good distance away. What? Come on. I rather you just be honest and say, yo, I just want to see who you are. I rather you just be honest like that. But I'm like, yeah, you want to like, hey, go run it. I know you're gonna run, see if I got warrants and all this kind of stuff. And it's happened, in different areas, man, different states. So they want to see your IDs. That's one of those things. Unfortunately, that's where we at. I don't like it at all. I understand. I want to be like, yo, why? But that's where we at.
So let me ask you something, Brother Ainsley. Has it happened where you are now since you've moved out of state?
Yeah. And that's what got me trying to research it. And then I realized I thought is that a Georgia thing, but I realized even New York,
what happened to that?
Books for that, and it's happening. They don't do it in New York. But I don't think is that a thing. Yeah, your light supposed to be on. You have to have lights. There's a light on the license plate. So they should be able to see your license plate from a good distance away. I don't know, like 100 yards, 100 feet, something like that. And I'm like, that's stupid, man. You pay attention to that.
And they find a way. And like I tell my kids, man, I said, listen, if you can avoid, they are killing us. Stop with I ain't gonna show you nothing. I got my right. All that don't matter when you getting put in the ground, brother. I said, just show it, and then you can go from there. I walk around with my driver's license, my high school diploma, my college degree, my security card. They pulled me over. They pulled me over. I gave them a shopping bag. All my IDs that's my college degree, man. Everything is right here. But wow. They look for a reason, and I tell people, and I learned that from this politician when I went through something with a cop. He said, yo, just give them your ID. And when after the ID, then you can say, not do what you want, but you can say, okay, here's my ID. Why are you pulling me over? You have the right to ask that. And then you could go from there, because the main thing they're going to say is, well, you're supposed to have ID. I asked you for ID. You didn't show the ID. So he said, so avoid all that. Here go my ID. Here you go.
Well, dude, I don't know if you three remember years ago, it's quite some time ago, it was illegal not to walk around with your ID.
Right.
Do you remember that?
It still is. I think it still is.
Well, it doesn't sound like it. It doesn't sound like it when, they're saying that, so if they were making, well, maybe it was a New York thing, because if that was mandated, then they wouldn't be going through this right now in Alabama, because then it would already been said that it's mandated that you have your ID. I know here in New York, years ago, if you didn't have your ID, they simply could arrest you. That was a law.
Right,
now, I don't know when it got lifted.
Until they figured out who you were. They arrest you until they figured out who you were.
Yeah.
Yes. So I remember that being the situation. Now, I wanted to go over this Fourth Amendment that the attorneys are saying that this Black pastor's Fourth Amendment right was breached. So I want to read it. It says the Fourth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution protects individuals against unreasonable searches and seizures by the government. It ensures the right to privacy in persons, houses, papers, and effects, requiring that warrants be issued only upon probable cause, supported by oath, and particularly describing the place to be searched and items to be seized. Do you feel that based on this situation, that his Fourth Amendment right was breached, Brother Ainsley?
Oh, definitely. Common sense, yeah. But we're in a day and age where there's no common sense. Look at ICE. We got U.S. citizens being picked up because they got to prove you're a United States citizen, and stuff like that. Suppose you just happen to be going out. I just mean like go to the store real quick. You ain't think about the ID and whatnot.
Right.
You get whatever, and ICE pull up, and so it's like we're in a time where it's unreasonable. It's not common sense. So, you got to look in the larger picture. That's the administration, and that's what they're all about. There's no common sense. What it should be satisfactory isn't no more. So that's why it's just permeated. It's the culture now. Real common sense. Once the guy said, pastor, back in the day, when that carried weight. When you a pastor, a bishop,
right.
Part of the clergy,
Right.
that carries some serious weight. They're gonna go to the jail and get somebody out. Listen, I vouch for this person. That carries weight.
Right.
Now it's like, what? No, I don't care. I need your ID too, and stuff like that. So it's violated, but with today's time, it's like, nah, we don't care about that. We need your ID. We want to see your birth certificate. And matter of fact, let me see that is your house. Let me see the deed on that. Let me see the mortgage on that. So definitely his right to violate it.
All righty. What about you, Brother Al? Do you feel that this Fourth Amendment right was breached?
Absolutely. Especially in the part when you said probable cause. There was no probable cause. When he was standing there, watering the lawn. It's different if he was standing there and you see him trying to get inside the house. He trying to get inside the house. He fumbling with the key trying to get in. And you can say, okay, listen, you live there, brother? What's going on? But that was no probable cause to see him outside watering the lawn. And like Ainsley said, that used to hold weight. Oh, yeah, Pastor. Oh, Pastor, we sorry, Pastor, Oh, no, sir. And then on top of that, you got so many people out there betraying pastors and doing craziness. So all that's out the window now. So, yes, indeed.
Hey, Brother Al, look, you know what the probable cause is? You're Black.
Yeah.
Water that's what it is.
Yep.
You're the wrong color in the wrong place.
That's probable cause you Black.
Yep.
You're the wrong color in the wrong place. Because listen, I don't care what y'all say. Pastor Steph laughs at me all the time. But that pastor stuff works. I can tell a story. I go to the airport with a collar on. They put me in first class just because I got the collar on. They don't ask me for my license. They don't ask me for my minister license. But because And unfortunately, the light-skinned folks don't know the difference between a pastor and father. So I'm like, okay, all I want to is, I walk in the door, be like, all right, Father, you can sit in the front, Father. So today I'm a father. You know what I mean? Whatever you want me to be, I'll be father today.
Hey, look, yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that information. I will be flying first class next week.
For real. I was at
my collar right now. Hey, Pastor Steph, you got any dollars?
I'm gonna be with my Deacon jersey on now, boy. I know that.
I need to put it on just so I don't have to go past the first 5 steps of the plane.
I promise you, every time,
right there.
90% of the time, if there's a seat in first class, listen, they put me up there with the military. So you know how they say if you got military or you got small kids, you come first. I'm first. And then every now and then, Father, can you pray? Can you pray over the speaker? Yes, I can pray. What else do you want me to do? I don't have to eat no peanuts. I get some real meal. Oh yeah, I'll pray. What do you want me to pray for? I'll pray for chicken. For chicken, I pray for.
Oh my gosh.
Pastor Steph, I see you Sunday. I'm stopping by at the church. I'll come see you. I just need one collar. Don't worry about it. Just give me one.
Oh my goodness gracious. I'm sorry, I'm using my collar.
I know you got more than one.
I just need to sit down. See, y'all getting it for the amenities. I just need a seat close to the front. I ain't got to take that. I only got 1,000 steps a day, so that's gonna help me. Okay,
oh, man, I'm gonna put that to use, man. I fly all the time, man. I ain't know that. You should put me on game a long time ago, bro.
Kel, you been holding out on us, Kel. You been holding out.
Gatekeeping, bro.
When he told me that, I could not. I was like, "You lying?" He was like, "No, Steph, I'm serious." I was like, "Kel, stop." He was like, "No, I'm serious. I'm telling you." I was like, I could not stop laughing when I finally believed him. I could not. I was breathless. I don't even think I was able to talk to him for 5 days because every time he said hello, I just started laughing. Who does this stuff?
Wait, and then Andy, you gotta do it like this. When you get on there, hello, my son.
You are going to hell. You are going to hell.
But I'm going first class.
Oh, I'm trying that.
Hell, exactly.
It's on now. Oh, it's on now.
I got a flight next week. I'm gonna let y'all know how it goes.
I don't have a due time crew because all y'all on the way to hell. Please. The world needs to hear a word from God. Oh, Lord.
And get you a nice cross. Don't get a gold one. Get it like a silver one. A nice cross that's long. Yeah, long, like 18 inches. You know what I mean?
Pastor Kel, I'm gonna take it even further. I'm gonna wear a long robe.
A black robe with the collar.
He told me he did that. And I was like, no, you did. He was like, no, Steph, I had on my robe. I said, no. He was like, yeah, the collar, the robe. Yes.
We are all in the ark. We are all in the ark. Listen, you got to start being in character from the time you leave the house. You know what I mean?
Hell
Wow.
bound. That's all I'm saying.
I just thought about it too. Then I'm gonna have the robe, the cross, the collar. I might even bring my staff too. Coming there like Moses.
All I know is if I see any of y'all at the airport, I'm rerouting. I'm not getting on no plane.
Oh no, I'm calling you, Pastor Steph.
You better come on with us.
Listen, I'll take my chances.
Listen, Pastor Steph, you come with me, I'm gonna say I got the sick and shedding with me.
Walk in on the plane. Bless you, my children.
I'll take my chances.
Yeah, I got a flight next week. I'm gonna be on the plane, yo, it worked, yo.
I am not
I'm a
messing with
FaceTime
y'all.
pastor.
Oh
I'm
my
a FaceTime
gosh.
pastor. Pastor, look at me
No.
in first class. Look at this.
No, hell-bound. All right, Pastor KL, did they breach his Fourth Amendment rights?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, all that, again, like the fella's saying, you know, it was basically because he was black. Because had Jonathan, you know, been watering the line, it would have been okay. First of all, Karen wouldn't even call. Jonathan was just doing something nice. But because we did it, you know what I mean, then it had to be suspicious. Well, I don't understand. We wasn't hosing down no Negroes. When they was hosing us down with dogs, that wasn't breaking our rights. No, it's just you can't turn this stuff around. You can't turn it around. But like I said, you know, I'm from Alabama. I told you they put me out of barbershop. I went to a barbershop and they said we don't cut y'all hair here.
Wow.
I mean, after I sat there for an hour waiting for the people in front of me to go, when it was my turn, he said, "What you doing here? You don't cut your hair here. Go down the block."
Wow.
We don't cut
Whoa.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, baby, they let you know they don't like you.
So let me ask you this. How do you feel serving them? What do you think when you're serving them?
Well, okay, so let me tell you a story. You might not like this story, but I'm gonna tell it anyway. So
You
I
already
was
going
there.
to hell, so why don't you go ahead and tell the story?
Well, I'm really going to hell behind this one. I'm telling you that right now. So buckle up. So I was in a place called, my first start in Alabama was in a place called Malville, Alabama, which is very racist. And for years they had a light skinned person, you know, who was the store manager, and she got terminated. So then I got there, and no one liked that because, you know, I was a different color. So old man that looked like he should have died 3 years ago, you know, came up to me.
Oh, Lord.
Came up to me and said, "Hey, boy, wasn't your grandmother one of my N-words?"
Wow.
So, ooh. So I had to clutch my pearls for a minute there. I was like, wow. And everybody online was looking to see what my response was. So I said, yeah, but my daddy screwed your daughter.
Oh.
And it was all over after that. Everybody was my friend. I became the best man. I became the best manager in Lilyville, is what I call it, Lilyville.
Wow.
Yeah. But when I tell you they blatant racist, blatant. They let you know we don't want you here, and it's not by sending you no note. They gonna tell you we don't want you here. They ain't putting no burning no cross. They gonna burn you.
So how do you remain in a place like that? How do you stay like that?
Okay, so you know what I respect? I respect the fact that Alabama, you know who's who. In New York, you don't.
I was going to say that.
New York, you don't know your enemy. You don't know your enemy. Your enemy in New York or these other places, they pretend like they're your friend and stabbing you in the back. In Alabama, you know where the knife is coming from. So you either avoid it or you get stabbed. In New York, you go get stabbed because you're going to assume, because these are the people that I broke bread with are my people. You got a David and Ziglag situation in New York. You don't have that in Alabama. They ain't breaking bread with you.
That's the recourse. Okay. What were you gonna say, Brother Ainsley?
Yeah, I kind of like, you know, I rather know who you are, you know, what you stand for, you know, being out, relocating to Georgia, you know, I think, you know, I come with, you know, my Brooklyn attitude. I'm not used to people being as cordial, you know, we tend to have our guard up and stuff like that. And we had to, you know, realize, you know, people are a lot more cordial than they are in New York. and I expected the worst out of most of the white people. I'm keeping it real, but I realized, most were cool, wasn't really pleasant, and welcome to the neighborhood and this kind of thing. However, you run into situations you can tell right away you'd rather not be around your presence, and I'd rather that than New York. Particularly people who you work with, they smile in your face, blah 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 blah, but yet they keep you down, and until you live through some experiences, you wonder, like, you got to wonder where is the people, things, the mobility, upward mobility ain't happening like it should be, and whatnot, because you realize you got the people who really don't want you in their presence and stuff like that. I'd rather deal with the enemy I can see right in front of my face. In New York and other areas like this, liberal states, just smile in your face, hey, yeah, blah, 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 yeah, we can free bread, blah, 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 let's go to lunch, blah, 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 and stuff like that. And maybe a promotion that you really are due, and be like, nah, let's give it to this person that he trained, So, yeah, I'd rather see, deal with the people who straight up, ain't no blurriness and stuff like that.
There's too much cover. I mean, let's take it from another standpoint. What's the difference between that and Brother Ainsley, who lives in what I call the down low state? Everybody down there is on the down low. You don't know whether they, we laughed about it the other day when we said the first question a man got to ask a female is, was you born a female? But down there, them people down there is down low. I mean, closet, out of closet, no. I want to know who I'm talking to. So we saying I don't know. Just like Pat said, we probably couldn't live down here like that. I couldn't live in Atlanta. I just couldn't, because I'd be in jail. Because some of them men look better than women. And you correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. It's all over, man.
It's.
Let me tell you, right? So, more people know me doing music, but I did some videography. So when I first went down, moving down, relocating down the Georgia, Atlanta area, I started doing more video work, right? So I get a call, and it's like, for example, I want to surprise my, my partner. I should have known right then, or whatnot. I should have known right then. Is the women that'll get. I'm like, when I get to the gate, I'm like, that's who it is. I'm having a surprise engagement. I want to, surprise my fiance. It's 2 men. And it's like, wow. It's
wow.
It's prevalent. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Let me read some of these comments. Tamika says they throw chairs at teachers in Brooklyn when we were talking about, what would be tolerated and what wouldn't be tolerated. And then she says, wow, it's not like Pastor KL needed a particular hairstyle.
Watch him out.
He needed all of his hair cut.
You still got to get it trimmed and the shape up, get it cut right.
No, okay. Is that what it is? Brother Al, the guys are saying that, hey, I'd rather take the South where I can see them coming. I know who they are. And opposed to New York where everybody's kind of masked. What say you? Which would you prefer?
Man, it's so hard to say because I've been here all my life. Hey, look, I'm like, Pastor, I'm like how your mother was. You ain't got no blankety blank friends. I ain't got to worry about it. I ain't got no blankety blank friends. So I ain't got to worry about it.
Everybody's suspect. That's right.
Yeah, man. They both are hard, man. Because then again, like you say, you out in those states and it's right there in front of your face. Now you angry. You kind of angry all the time because people just so disrespecting. I can't do the disrespect, man. I'm working hard. I'm asking the Lord to work with me on that disrespect part. And, Now, I've been here all my life, so I'll take care. And just like I said, I ain't got no blankety blank friends. I go about my business.
Yeah, I don't think, as much as you all pride them on, you know, the fact that they're blatant and they're upfront and they're honest, that's an honesty I could do without. And I'll pass. I don't need you in my face saying certain things to you, and, you know, opposed to, you know, like you said, there's this undercover, you know, camaraderie and friendliness, and, you know, they're stabbing you in the back. And I just got to trust God for that one, to give me the level of discernment as to who to trust, how to read people, you know, leave my guard up, you know, and just kind of weigh it at the end of the day to see who appears to be real. And if they fail,
discernment, it's discernment, but, you know, it's not so much like disrespect, really. It's that, like, to let you know, listen, I'd rather you not be in my presence. And I'd rather you not be in my presence either. You know, and
I just can't take the other piece. What the opposite side of it is nah. I'm without.
Yeah.
It takes a certain experience. Let me tell you. So a long time ago, I had to go to a funeral down. It was in West Virginia, right? So me and my cousin, we Brooklyn, New York, right? So we go down, meet up 2 other cousins from down there, right? And we're going with somebody's house and whatnot. As we crossing the street, a carload of 4 white boys, they come up and scream, "Niggas, y'all niggas," right? Me and my cousin, we Brooklyn, we like, yo, let's go handle them, right? The cousin from down there was like, no, and no, let it go. And I was like, I wish I had drove my own car, I would handle them, right? But we with them, right? We like, yo, how you let that go by, man? You know, and it was like, they're like, the temperament, we couldn't understand, yo, how you ain't gonna go handle that? You know, because you Brooklyn, you know, that's what we do, you know. But it was like, no. But, you know, but that's like, that to me, that's more like a disrespect. But when they just say, like, you know, they let you know, listen, I'd rather you not be in my presence, blah blah blah. It's like, okay, fine, cool. I mean, maybe it's a level to it. You know what I'm saying? It's a level of being disrespectful or letting you know, listen, I'd rather not deal with you. I guess maybe that makes a difference.
I think that's disrespectful as well. You know, I think the whole thing.
I don't see no difference either. I ain't gonna talk about. I ain't looking at it like that, Ames. I'm not looking at, well, you could disrespect me on level 1, but you can't disrespect me on level 2. I ain't playing that game.
It's different. Somebody like, I'd rather not deal with you. And somebody says, yo, nigga, blah 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 blah. It's more offensive. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not apt to want to.
That's more offensive than somebody saying it wasn't your grandma, my nigga. Oh,
well, that's different right there.
But that's what y'all are saying. No, it's not different. Y'all saying y'all rather them say that than for somebody in a car to call you a nigga.
No, don't the N-word.
They just called you a nigga. Period is a nigga. What is the difference? It's coming from a white person. It's still disrespect. How's that different?
No, I mean,
you see how you complicated? This how you complicate it. Go ahead.
Well, okay. So for me, again, I totally understand. The way you say that about my grandmother, I got a response for you up close and in person in your face, because I know you don't like me, and I'm okay with that. But keep your not liking me over there, so I'm okay with that. You know, but the problem is the one who don't like me, and I don't know about it, that's coming after me. I want to see my enemy come after me, because now I'm in your face. Then I get to do what I need to do to protect me. So yeah, I'd rather you come to my face and say so. If you come to my face and you 2 inches from the grave, you want to die. You want to die.
Oh God!
Because all the king's horses and all the king's men is not going to put you back together again. You want to die. As opposed to the coward who's on the other side plotting to kill me. That's the coward. You don't like me, but you ain't bad enough to come tell me you don't like me. You the coward. I don't want to deal with the coward. I want you.
At life. Y'all can
I'm sorry?
Y'all
baby.
Life of this person in my face opposed to this person back here. Either way is disrespectful. However, I just don't need you.
But if you're gonna be more,
I just don't need you in my face. That's all right. That's all right. I need you in my face.
Yeah, with you in my face, I'm most likely gonna do some prison time. You in my face. I've been talking about Big Bubba for a long time. Now I get to meet Big Bubba because of you.
It's for me personally, and maybe because Al is a male and he's saying kind of what I'm saying, but for me, maybe it's a female thing. I just don't need you in my face. I don't need you in my face insulting me. And so what I'm saying is, if you spit in my face, that at least I know you don't like me. But I don't want to deal with the person who wants to spit in my face but don't spit in my face. No, thank you.
So you rather the coworker, you rather Becky, who you work with, smiling at you and talking to you every day at work, but plotting against you, you not even know where it's coming from?
What do I care? What do I care about your plotting when I'm not intimidated by you? That doesn't bother me.
No, I got a problem
plotting against me.
No.
People are plotting against me. Oh, but listen. Y'all take y'all madness and I'll take mine. Okay? I'm sorry. I'd rather sit at the desk with Becky, because here's what I said. Ainsley cut me off when I said discernment. God is going to give me the understanding that Becky is plotting against me. I don't care nothing about Becky plotting against me, because that's life. If so, somebody plotting against you in your face is gonna make me feel better because I know, opposed to Becky in the background plotting. I didn't have a whole lot. Let me show you. Let me show you why I'm not worried. And I couldn't believe this even happened. I used to work with a guy when I was there before he was. He replaced the person who. So we all work for the CEO. But as far as they were concerned, I was the lowest man on the totem pole because everybody else was all white men. But we all were equal as far as reporting to the CFO. But the controller was, they look at him a little bit above me. So what happened was he was leaving and they hired another guy. And I said to the boss, to the CFO, I said, I don't trust him. I said, he is sneaky. I don't like it. I said, you hired him, but I'm telling you, I don't know how this relationship gonna go because I can already see that he's sneaky. And I don't trust him because sneaky people can't be trusted. If I see you sneaky in my face, God only knows what you do when my back is turned. Well, it came out later. So he said, he gave me his reason why he hired him. And I said, well, I'm just letting you know that's where I stand. There's something that God gave me from the inception of him being there. So later on, he used to spend a night in the place and people used to question, like, why is he here overnight? And I knew why, because he was searching. He was digging through stuff. And he had keys and he had the ability to dig through things. And it was very little that he could see that I couldn't see based on our positions. So in other words, he couldn't see salaries that I couldn't see. I see the same salaries. So the stuff that he was seeing, I had privy to as well, but I'm not, why are you sneaking? So it just went on for a while. I ended up getting sick and I ended up leaving. Come to find out, I saw his daughter on Facebook and I used to say something and I used to pray to God over something. Pray to God over that issue. God, you have your way because I don't feel comfortable with, because I used to think he was digging through my computer and stuff, but I can prove it. I said, so when I got sick and left, I said, oh, he must be having a ball. He must be having a ball going through my computer. I ran into his daughter on Facebook and I said, hey, how's your father? I used to work with him years ago. She said he has Alzheimer's. He doesn't remember anything. He don't know who we are half the time. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. That's why I said I have to trust God. Y'all want the people spitting in your face? I'm sorry. I'd rather you want to spit in my face and not spit in my face. So God ended up handling him anyway. Because at the end of the day, what'd you say, Al?
I said, I'm riding with you on this.
Yeah, because my thing is, look at how God handled him. All the stuff that he had been digging and knowing, guess what? He didn't even know his name. So why am I worried about if you plotting something against me? That's all right.
So here you are, since Alice is chiming in with you, me and Angie don't stick together. So here you are, he killed me, and now you had Alzheimer's, you can't remember you killed me. But I'm still dead. No. I'm
am
not
I alive, KL? Am I alive? Look at where we are right now. Look at where I am right now. Why? You didn't kill me. How did you kill me?
But okay, so listen.
Right now, you got to be kidding me.
Am I my brother's keeper?
You mad? So we disagreeing? You mad?
No, what I'm disagreeing, what I'm puzzled about is when you said he killed me. I'm not dead.
No, I'm saying if he plotted against me to kill me and I died, right? but now you have Alzheimer's, you don't even remember that you killed me.
But you saying that God would allow him to kill me? See, I'm in a different area than you are. Okay. I'm trusting God on this one. No, I'm seeing you that you're not trusting God. That's not what I'm saying. I want you to think I'm saying that. But for me, I have to trust God on this. I have to trust God when I read the verse that says, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. So yes, you might be plotting to kill me. But look at this is why I use this example. Look at where I am now. I'm disabled, but look at what I'm doing now. You done made all the money, way more money. You done doubled my salary. You sneaking around doing all of this stuff, and now you can't even remember how much money you made over Stephanie and how you did Stephanie as well as anybody else. And now you can't remember your name, and I'm going to worry about you. To me, that was God's vengeance, not mine. All right, I didn't have to accept that him spitting in my face and then that happening to him. No, that's all right. Keep your spit. I'll sit over here on this side of my desk.
I hear what you're saying, but look, I mean, God brings us through all situations and whatnot. I'm saying that most of my life I've been in New York. I've been dealing with the undercover, the people.
Right. Like that. I understand.
I've been dealing with that. To me, it's refreshing when you see people that, I mean, it sometimes take a long time to realize, okay, it's these people. That's why things are going the way they are and whatnot. It took a long time to get to that point. To me, I would appreciate if I knew that a whole lot more sooner. I'd rather know that. I wish I knew that a lot more sooner. And like brother, it's a little bit more, you can say refreshing, but when more people more direct, and it's like, oh, okay, I ain't got to figure out. You just telling me what you got right now. But no matter what, I know God's gonna bring you through. And as a matter of fact, a lot of the I won't say hate, but those actions that were, they try to keep me down. Actually, overall, it worked to my good. So I was able to retire early.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not worried about it.
But I still sometimes like to know, rather see the enemy that you see than the undercover enemy.
Well, for me on some of that, like I said, I'm with Pastor Steph. Me and Pastor Steph riding with this. But me and Pastor Steph riding.
You need to take another vacation. You need another vacation.
Yeah. So a lot of times when you do, so it puts you in a predicament where if I know you plotting against me, right, and I see that you plotting against me, I may get you first. Now you put me again. I don't want to see Big Bubba. I talk about Big Bubba all the time. I don't want to meet him. Okay, so you plotting against me. What you think I'm going to do? I'm gonna sit back and let you plot? No, I'm gonna plot with you. Okay, I got to get this person before this person get me. And it's not always the white folks that's plotting against us. It's our own brothers and sisters sometimes plotting.
Most
Right,
times.
right.
So I'm like,
Most
Pastor
times.
Steph, you can say what you want. You feel that way, and you ain't doing nothing to you over there. I'm fine with it. But with you blatantly in my face like that, it's gonna be a situation.
Yeah, but sometimes, Al, when you stand, when they approach you, and you stand flat-footed up against them, you know, a lot of times they're not as brave as they think they are.
Oh, definitely
Because
not. For real.
they automatically think that you're inferior, which means that you're scared of them. But when you stand flat-footed up against, the Bible says, resist the devil, and he shall flee. That means that doesn't mean, you know, don't go around the devil. It means that you stand flat-footed up against him, and he's got to go the other way once he realizes what you stand for. So sometimes the devil has to come face to face with you and to realize that you ain't scared of him.
But here's the
Resist
thing.
means
Here's the
apply
thing.
equal force.
But
That's what it means.
here's the verse you're giving. Resist the devil and he shall flee. Here's the
Mhm.
thing. But I don't have to prefer it. That's the only difference here. We're not
Right.
if we ever approached how
Right,
we're going to. But I'm sorry, that's not my preference. That's the only way. That's the only thing we're differing here. Al and I are differing with, not that we don't believe we'll ever get it. We don't believe that it doesn't exist.
Right.
But I'm sorry, y'all talked about preference. That's what we're talking about. I'm not talking about how I'm going. Because see, raising that verse right now, in my opinion, puts into question how we would handle it. That's not the issue. The issue is not if will I stand flat foot. Is he talking?
He not muted. Hey, look,
Okay.
I'm like Medea on this. May peace be still, and I will keep me a piece of steel.
Yeah, I mean, if the enemy comes up against you, you must stand, firm.
Yes.
So that you can get him to resist. And that's why I told y'all the whole story from the very beginning. I saw the enemy. Now the one who hired him didn't see him. Because he was like, oh, I don't think so. I said, we from two different neighborhoods. We from two different backgrounds. I said, you sitting up here in this office, I got to work with that out there. I'm telling you what I see. And if I didn't see it, I wouldn't be here. If it's what I thought, I wouldn't be here. So all along, it was me facing the enemy. I didn't budge, but I'm sorry. I wouldn't have rather
Black
him
women got more senses. They're like, something wrong with that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I could see it. But and that's what I went when I said the discernment. God gave it to me from the beginning. So now I know how to maneuver with this opposition. I knew he was speaking, like I said, when he was doing other things and other people in the building were saying, what's up with that stuff? I was like, don't ask me. Don't ask me. I see what I see. I ain't saying nothing. Y'all handle it how y'all gonna handle it. I'm gonna handle mine the way I'm gonna handle mine. So yes, I'm with you all the way with resistance the devil and he shall flee. But I'm sorry, as long as the devil ain't spitting in my face, I'm okay.
I don't want him to do it either. I mean, to me, I just like, like all the years, I don't keep the point blank, say I worked for, an agency for a long time. I wish I knew those who sooner than later who didn't mean me well because of being
But didn't you say it came out, you came out on top? Did you say that?
Yeah.
What difference does it make?
That's what I'm saying. God's gonna bring you through. I'm just saying, I wish I knew sooner.
So if you know God gonna bring you through, why I want you to spit in my face?
I don't want you to
spit in my face. If I had the confidence that God is gonna bring me through, why I want you to spit in my face?
I'm like Brother Al. I'm not doing some time though.
No one wants to spit.
It's insulting me blatantly. I'm just using the terminology spitting in my face. But
no one wants to spit on the face.
Through, then why would I even want that or prefer that? If I trust God in the back, why am I caring about what happens in the front? Why?
Say it
I'm
well.
just asking.
Put out the collection plate.
You've been listening to Al and Pastor Steph.
You know, everybody has their preference. I love talking to you guys because y'all definitely give us something to think about. And as always, y'all taking us into a thought-provoking weekend. Boy, the only thing we were missing here was Pastor Jeff. I would have loved to hear what he had to say about this. I would have loved. I miss him today. Yes. Thank you so much, y'all. Thank you so much.
Good seeing everybody.
Have a wonderful, thought-provoking weekend. Thank you.
Take care.
All righty. All right. We got woman's intuition. We just use it and we know. All right. Go ahead. Miss Herlima, thank you so much. Tamika says, what's the difference between Becky doing you wrong or Shaquita doing you wrong? Oh, right. Wrong is wrong. And like Al said, I agree 100%. You know, they are most offensive altogether. They're most offensive. Let's get rid of these screens here. You gotta be kidding me. All right, well, I got this undercover technological problem. So you're going to have a shared screen unless Shantice does her job. We about to fire Shantice because maybe her co-worker is beating her up in the background. All righty. Let's see. Let's see if I can. Maybe I can do it from here. Hold on. Let's see if we can get this taken care of. All right, that worked. And there we go. Woo, was that some conversation? I love talking with the guys. Was there another? Oh, no. Okay, I got it. Woo! You know, we suffer from a lot of offenses as well as mistreatment, and unfortunately, in this particular case with the pastor, he hasn't gotten out of 2 courts. He has not gotten any satisfaction. And, you know, people are saying, take it to the Supreme Court because, you know, they'll go back to the 4th Amendment and they'll, give you your just due. They'll help you with your suit because it's wrong at the end of the day. And we are always suffering offenses against us as Black men, Black women, double sword that's coming against us as Black women. And I definitely honor and respect the preference of, I'd rather see it coming than to be blindsided, because that's pretty much what's being said. And, in certain cases, I'm with the guys 100%. Just I'd rather see the car coming and, try to get out of the way or to handle it opposed to, a car swinging around the corner. My father, he taught us something. It was really interesting. And every once in a while, I'll think about it. And I asked my sister, do you remember when he was teaching us how to cross the street? He said, don't cross the street when the light is red. Cross the street when the light is green. And my mother had actually taught us the opposite. And initially, he didn't go into explanation. He just said, when that light is green, don't cross. No, cross. Don't cross when it's red. And we didn't or at least me, I can't speak for my sister. I was like, but the cars are coming. They have the right of way to come. So finally one day he said, the reason why I tell you to cross when the light is green is because you're expecting the cars to come. All you have to do is look left or right because they're only coming from one direction. If you cross when the light is red, they are coming from around the corner because they have the right of way. And you're not going to see them coming. You're not going to be looking for them. So that's what I think about, when I hear the argument of the guys. And like I said, I understand the concept. Absolutely understand the concept. Because like I said, that's, I think I taught my girls that. I was like, this is how you do it. Because you'll see, blah, blah, blah. And it made every bit of sense. Once he laid it out, it was like, oh, it is true. Because when they swing around that corner, you're not expecting that. But if they are held down by the red light, providing they don't run the red light, then all you have to do is look right or left, and that's your opposition. That's the enemy. That's the enemy. When you're looking right or left, you don't see him coming, because that's not when he's coming. He's coming when your guard is down. He's coming from around that corner. He's always coming when you don't anticipate his coming. And that's our enemy, our physical enemy. That's how they operate. And despite the fact that I agree with the guys that, this is, in a sense, a greater opposition, and I'll pass. I shall pass. And again, it's not to say that they're wrong and we're right. Brother Al and I, is not to say that we're wrong and they're right. It's just the preference of it all. How would you prefer to see your opposition? And I know if we use in, this enemy, the devil, of course we want to see the devil coming. But because the devil is not only going to come where you can see him, he's going to mainly come when you can't see him. I need to rely on God to give me that level of discernment. Because I don't need discernment when I can see it. I'm not relying on my senses when I can see it. But I got to rely on my senses when I don't see it. Which means that I got to practice. I got to rehearse. I got to make sure I'm always moving. I got to make sure I'm always on alert. Be sober. This came up earlier during the week. Be sober, be vigilant, because the enemy is prowling to see who he can devour. If I begin to rely on all the ones that I can see, all of the times when the enemy is coming, then I let my guard down on the other side. But because my mama didn't always told me you can't trust nobody, pretty much, because that's what it translated to. You ain't got no blankety blank friends meant that you can't trust nobody. I don't care what they say. Keep your guard up, watch what they doing, and make sure you don't get caught off guard. My father used to say, make sure you don't get caught with your pants down. I had street parents. They gave it to you. I had the other three, grandma, auntie Pam, auntie Brenda, they gave us a spiritual side, and my parents, they gave us the street side. And we watched, and we heard, and we learned. They gave you the straight street. That you ain't got no friends, so you don't trust nobody. And that's pretty much why I don't mind that covert, because I'm already watching you. Like I said, when he walked through the door, all I had to do was watch him for a couple of weeks, and I was inside saying, okay, I don't know what you hired. I don't think you know what you hired, but I don't know what he's showing you. But out there, it took all of like 2 weeks for me to be in that office going, we in trouble. We in trouble. And no sooner said, that boss ended up leaving. He ended up leaving. He ended up going to get another job. And I was still there to watch everything that I had predicted, that God had given me. I don't have those senses. So I have to rely on the senses that God gives me in order to just make it in this world. And that's what I've taught those around me, my girls and anyone else. Listen, stay on alert. Keep your head on the swivel, because it ain't only gonna be in your face. And you gotta watch the enemy for just that. Because here, let me help you with something. Sometimes the blatant is to distract you from the covert. Sometimes that is what's going on. If I got your attention here, you ain't gonna watch what's happening around you, because I got you engaged right here. If I got you engaged here, you ain't watching anything else, because I got you right here. So, like I said, at the end of the day, this is just a matter of preference. And it doesn't say that they're wrong. It's like, no, that's all right. I'll stay right here in New York. And it doesn't mean that the people in New York won't tell you the same thing either. Because they're telling you, they may not be using the verbiage that the Southerners are using, but they are actually doing the same thing. When you're acting covertly, and you don't think I know this, but God has already revealed it to me. They say everything you saying, you might be thinking it's covert, but you spitting it out. You spit out that in 2 weeks, I figured out I couldn't trust you. Why you just look shifty? You just moving shifty. See, he's sitting in there in the office looking at the four walls. I'm out here watching everything around me. I walked in that job to enemies that were covert. I walked into that job that was an enemy sitting right beside me that was very blatant. Oh, he wouldn't have lunch with me. He wouldn't have lunch with the other person. If that other person asked me, do you want to have lunch, Steph? That person, and he had already asked me, would say, never mind. Right there in front of me. He made no qualms about let me know that for the 15 years I worked there, that and I tell you no lie, I got sick in February. We finally clicked in December. I got sick February, the end of February. He ended up needing me for something and figuring out I was better than everything else that was available. And it was my job, so I could not decline. And we actually had to be paired up. All these years, he openly hated and despised me for nothing. And he was married to a Black woman. Go figure. So there was some other stuff going on from the moment I walked in the door. It was so blatant that it even had to be asked, what is the problem? She's done nothing. From the moment she walked the door, you've hated her. So right here in New York, it ain't like we ain't going to deal with it, because I dealt with it. I dealt with people were despising me from the moment I walked in the door, and the one that openly despised me. You learn to deal with it. God teaches you. But like I said to you, when that daughter told me that, I said, how's your day? She said, oh, he has Alzheimer's. He doesn't remember anything. He doesn't remember us. He really doesn't remember his name. And it didn't click at first, because I was like, oh my gosh, wow, that's horrible. So we chatted for a little bit. And when I finished chatting with her, I was like, wait a minute. Alzheimer's? That means he don't remember anything he saw, anything he snuck and dug into. Whoa. Does God know how to fix you? And that's why I say, the Bible tells us the vengeance belongs to God. Because if I had actually seen this like I did, and I now started to respond, like Al said, I'm now in trouble. If I wasn't in trouble with the law, I'd be in trouble with God. But God allowed me just to function. He said, Steph, you just go in that job every day. You do what you do. And when God was ready to pull me from there, he removed me from there. Even in sickness, he removed me from there. And at the end of the day, like I said to Pastor KL, here I am. remember I said he made double my salary. Now I'm doing as much work. He didn't do nothing more than what I was doing, but because of position, because of skin, because of a female, excuse me, I wasn't making his money. So if I was angry over that, now it doesn't matter how much money you made. Who's standing now? Now I might be only standing on one leg. I can't move when I get up out this chair. I'm going to be having to take a nap. I can't hardly walk. My legs are killing me. My knees are killing me. But that's what's happening here. God has allowed this not to be touched. And I can remember things like it was yesterday. Who's still standing at the end of the day? That's why you must serve God. Because see, when God acts on your behalf, can't nobody do anything about it. As sick as I have been several times over, and he was well. Because when I was really sick, he came to visit me in the hospital. Yes, came to visit me in the hospital. And he had never been sick. Every once in a while, you know, I'd see him on Facebook or we chat, or, you know, I'd call the job for something, and then he'd, you know, say, you know, hey, Stephanie, whatever. And he was fine. All these years, since 2011, I have been so sick to death, starting then. Oh, before that. That was the second time it was declared that I was going to be dead in 20 minutes. And he was fine. He was fine. But at the end of the day, the quality of life for an Alzheimer's patient is definitely different than what God's got you witnessing right now. So that's why I said, come on, get on this side of the fence. Let God put a protective barrier around you. Like I said, I ain't in no perfect state. His body probably doing a whole lot better than mine. It's just his mind all jacked up. But I struggle. I struggle big time. But man, can nothing beat the fact that God has kept my mind and my mouth intact to serve him. Serve God. Because no matter what, nothing else beats it. You've been watching It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. Join us Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. where we discuss matters of the heart, mind, and spirit. As you go through your day, be sure to set your mind on things that are above, not on things that are on the earth. They will only serve as a distraction. Remember, prayer changes things. It's Pastor Steph signing off, and I want to thank my Due Time crew, the men, for always sending us into a thought-provoking weekend. Thank you for hanging out with us and helping us do what we do. Please do not miss the opportunity right now to give Christ your life. Please do not miss this opportunity to strengthen that relationship with the Lord right now, because later is not promised to any of us. Until Sunday, God spares. We'll be in the Word Prayer Project room. Come on in the room. See what we're praying about. Until then, God spares. I love you.